Hi, Greg here. Today I want to do a follow-up video to some videos that I've done recently that have featured LEGO SUVs, more specifically a modern SUV versus a vintage SUV. The one on the left is the modern SUV, and that's from the police dog unit that I've reviewed recently. And the one on the right is the SUV from the Cactus Canyon Value Pack. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of look at the progression of LEGO SUVs from 20 years ago to the present. So let's take a look at these. Of course, the first thing you notice is the size difference, and that's because the police unit is 6 wide, whereas the vintage SUV is only 4 wide. And I think just looking at them, as you can see them here, I think that the modern SUV looks a little nicer, but I notice when you add in minifig to the equation, the modern one starts to look a little out of proportion. Like, here's the guy that came with this SUV, and obviously all minifigs are the same, but if you look at him in comparison to the tire of that tire is like 4 feet tall, and the hood of this is almost as tall as him, so it's, say he's 6 feet tall, this SUV on the left is probably like 12 feet high, and that's kind of large when you think about vehicles on the road, whereas if he stands beside this one, it looks a little more acceptable, it looks a little more to scale with the minifig himself. I think in terms of quality, the modern SUV does stand out. It's got the nice fenders that go above the sides here, whereas the vintage SUV doesn't have any. This has the side view mirrors, which are really nice. This one doesn't have any. But I think for the time, this was a really nice set, but they've really gone above and beyond in making these modern vehicles look really nice and realistic. You have the nicer headlights that are in the front. It's got modern styling to it as well, how vehicles look today. Now, I don't doubt in 1994 this was a pretty common style, but I really love the way this looks better. And I like the quality of the tires too. They're kind of rounded and a little rubbery. These ones just kind of fall flat. Looking at the rear, the police dog unit wins again. You move this down, there's a lot of space inside there. You can see the 2 dogs still inside there. This one, you really can't fit a whole lot. I think with this you could actually fit a minifig inside, but with the vintage SUV, you really can't fit much of anything in there unless you just put the minifig down on his side like this, which he really doesn't even fit there, so you really can't get anything inside there, which is kind of a bummer. So the police dog unit definitely wins on that front as well. Playability is about equal. Both of them obviously move like vehicles would. To get into this one, you got to take the top of that off, and then you put your minifigure inside, which is pretty simple. And then the police unit, the whole top just pops off, and you can really get in there with your minifig. The only thing I don't like about the interior of this is I feel like it's a little bland with that tiny seat and steering wheel. It's essentially the same setup that's inside here, but it really doesn't quite fit the vehicle, and there's a lot of extra space in there. I would have almost liked it to be just a little bit wider so you could get a second minifig in there, put a second seat in. That'd make it look really awesome, but I feel like you'd have to probably increase it to the point that it just wouldn't look in proportion from the outside. As you can see, both of these sets have their positives and negatives. I think they're both really well done, and for the time, the 94 SUV was great, and the one from 2014 is great. In fact, I'd love to come back 20 years from now and have the 1994 in comparison to the 2014 in comparison to the 2034 SUV, just to see how things go. Hopefully it's a flying car or something like that. But I'm really excited to see where LEGO goes in the future. Obviously, they have great designers that are working on these things, and it's really fun to track these as time goes by. So I thank you for watching this video, and there will be plenty more to come.